Imagine a fire, not just any fire, but a roaring bonfire that consumes everything thrown into it. Logs, branches, debris, all of it becomes fuel for the flames. The fire doesn't complain about what it's given. It doesn't wish for better wood or easier kindling. It simply transforms whatever comes its way into heat, light, and energy. This is the image that the ancient Stoics used to describe the ideal human soul, and it captures the essence of one of the most powerful and liberating concepts in all of philosophy: Amor Fati, love of fate. Today, we're going to explore this profound idea, where it came from, what it truly means, and most importantly, how you can use it to transform your relationship with everything that happens in your life. Because here's the truth that the Stoics understood over 2,000 years ago. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And the highest response, the response that leads to true freedom and inner peace, is not mere acceptance. It is love. The phrase Amor Fati is Latin, meaning love of fate. While it's often associated with the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, who popularized the term in the 19th century, the concept itself is deeply rooted in ancient Stoic philosophy. Nietzsche wrote, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it." But centuries before Nietzsche, the Stoics were teaching the same essential wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." This is the Stoic vision of the ideal soul, one that transforms every circumstance, no matter how challenging, into fuel for growth and virtue. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of the most influential Stoic teachers, expressed it this way: "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy." This is not passive resignation. This is active embrace. The Stoics believed in a rational, ordered universe governed by the Logos, divine reason. Everything that happens is part of this cosmic order. To fight against fate is to fight against the very nature of reality. To love fate is to align yourself with the deepest truth of existence. Nietzsche took the concept of Amor Fati and intensified it through his thought experiment of the eternal recurrence. He asked us to imagine that a demon appeared to us and said, "This life, as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more. Every pain, every joy, every thought and sigh must return to you, all in the same succession and sequence." How would you respond to such a revelation? Would you curse the demon, or would you embrace this fate as the greatest gift imaginable? For Nietzsche, the person who could say yes to the eternal recurrence, who could genuinely wish for their life to repeat exactly as it is, forever, has achieved the highest form of life affirmation. This is Amor Fati in its most radical form. But there's an important difference between Nietzsche's Amor Fati and the Stoic version. For Nietzsche, the universe is fundamentally chaotic and meaningless. Amor Fati is an act of creative will. We impose meaning on a meaningless world through our love of fate. For the Stoics, the universe is rational and ordered. Amor Fati is an act of recognition. We align ourselves with the meaning that already exists in the cosmic order. We recognize that what happens to us is not random, but part of a larger pattern that we may not fully understand. Both approaches lead to the same practical outcome: a profound acceptance and even love of whatever life brings. But the Stoic version offers something additional: the comfort of knowing that there is a reason, even if we cannot see it. Before we go further, let's be clear about what Amor Fati is not. It is not passive resignation. Amor Fati doesn't mean giving up or refusing to try to improve your circumstances. The Stoics were not fatalists in the sense of believing that nothing we do matters. They believed in taking action, in striving for virtue, in working to make the world better. But they also believed in accepting the outcomes of our actions. whatever they may be. Pretending everything is fine. Amor Fati doesn't require you to deny your pain or suppress your emotions. When something difficult happens, it's natural and healthy to feel grief, anger, or disappointment. The Stoics acknowledged this. What they taught was not to be controlled by these emotions, and ultimately to transform them through understanding. Approval of evil. Loving your fate doesn't mean approving of injustice or cruelty. The Stoics were deeply committed to virtue and justice. Amor Fati is about your relationship to events, not about moral judgment of actions. You can love your fate while still working to prevent harm and promote good. Giving up your agency. Perhaps most importantly, Amor Fati is not about surrendering your power to choose. It's about choosing wisely, focusing your energy on what you can control, your thoughts, judgments, and actions, rather than wasting it on what you cannot control, external events and outcomes. So how do we actually practice Amor Fati in daily life? Here are some concrete approaches drawn from Stoic wisdom. The morning preparation. Each morning, before you begin your day, take a moment to remind yourself that things will not go as planned. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness.' This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. When difficulties arise, you won't be caught off guard. You'll be ready to transform them." The reframe. When something unwanted happens, practice asking yourself, "How can this be fuel for my fire? What opportunity does this present? How can I use this to become stronger, wiser, or more virtuous?" Thomas Edison, when his laboratory burned down, destroying years of work, reportedly said, "There is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." This is Amor Fati in action, the gratitude practice. Each evening, reflect on the day's events, especially the difficult ones, and find something to be grateful for in each. This trains your mind to see opportunity in adversity, to find the gift hidden in every challenge. Over time, this practice rewires your default response to difficulty. The view from above. The Stoics practiced imagining their life from a cosmic perspective, seeing themselves as a small part of a vast, interconnected whole. From this vantage point, our personal dramas seem less overwhelming. We can more easily accept that what happens to us is part of a larger pattern, even if we can't see the whole picture. The Dichotomy of Control. Return again and again to the fundamental Stoic distinction. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Focus your energy entirely on what you can control, your judgments, intentions, and actions. Release your attachment to outcomes. This is the foundation of Amor Fati. Throughout history, we see examples of individuals who embodied Amor Fati, transforming their circumstances into fuel for greatness. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, discovered that even in the most horrific circumstances, we retain the freedom to choose our attitude. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Frankl didn't just survive. He found meaning in his suffering and used it to develop logotherapy, helping countless others find meaning in their own lives. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet emerged without bitterness, ready to lead his nation toward reconciliation. He transformed his imprisonment into an opportunity for reflection, growth, and preparation for the leadership role that awaited him. He once said, "I am fundamentally an optimist. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward." Beethoven continued composing some of his greatest works after losing his hearing, the very sense most essential to his art. Rather than succumbing to despair, he transformed his deafness into a crucible that refined his genius. His late works, composed in total silence, are among the most profound in the history of music. These individuals didn't merely accept their fate, they loved it, embraced it, and used it as fuel for their fire. Here's the paradox at the heart of Amor Fati. By accepting everything that happens, you become truly free. As long as you're fighting against reality, wishing things were different, you're a prisoner of your own resistance. But when you embrace what is, you're liberated from that struggle. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he who is so wants nothing." This doesn't mean you stop working toward goals or trying to improve your life. It means you're no longer dependent on specific outcomes for your peace of mind. You do your best, and then you accept whatever results. You prefer certain outcomes, but you don't need them. This is what the Stoics called preferred indifference, things that are naturally preferable, health, wealth, reputation, but not necessary for a good life. The only true good is virtue. The only true evil is vice. Everything else is material for the exercise of virtue. We began with the image of a fire that transforms everything thrown into it. This is the invitation of Amor Fati, to become that fire. Whatever life throws at you, success or failure, pleasure or pain, praise or criticism, let it all become fuel. Let every experience, especially the difficult ones, make you stronger, wiser, and more alive. The Stoics understood that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond, and the highest response is not mere tolerance, not grudging acceptance, but love. Love of our fate, love of our life exactly as it is, with all its imperfections and challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, and do so with all your heart." This is the path to freedom. This is the path to peace. This is Amor Fati. So the next time life throws something unexpected your way, a setback, a loss,